Hello, viewers. Welcome to Talk Time Soccer Show on Speakstv, channel 15.2. Today, as usual, I'm your host, Excel, and I'm here today with Francis, my co-host. And again, we have a Man U fan who is going to be our guest co-host today. His name is Martin.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin, and welcome. So, big events and big news happening in the soccer world this past week. So we just concluded the Guinness International Champions Cup, and we also had the MLS All-Star game where MLS All-Stars played against Bayern Munich, the last season's champions of the Bundesliga. So let's talk about the All-Star game. So All-Star game against Bayern Munich. So Francis, did you see the game? What do you think of that game?
Yes, I watched the game. It was a really interesting game. The MLS team came out firing. They didn't want to lose, to the big giants like Bayern Munich. They came out playing good soccer. The coach for the MLS was brilliant, and he put on the best team I've seen for the MLS All-Stars in years. So that was a good game, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Yeah, Martin, what do you think about the game? Bayern Munich played really well. They scored the first goal in the game. It really looks as if they were gonna win, but it's like the coach did something nice, and then Lodovan scored that goal. So what do you think about? What do you think really helped the All Stars to win that game?
I think what really helped them was the fact that they also had quality players on the team. So when they went down 1-0, they knew how to compose themselves and, get back on track and get back another goal to tie it up. So I think they did a good job recruiting quality players to join the team. And of course, Donovan came in and scored a brilliant goal, I think. And I think the coach really did a good job organizing the team as well. And I have to agree with Francis. It was the best MLS team that they put out there so far.
And that also shows the quality of how the MLS and the US soccer is developing. Usually when they're playing a big team like the likes of Arsenal and Bayern Munich, they usually, when they go down 1-0, they tend like they don't know what to do anymore. But this, you can tell that they develop big time players on the field, showed composure of how the U.S. soccer is building, and they end up winning the game, which, that's what U.S. soccer is about. And that's what, they're striving to do, bringing in quality players to put on a show like this and help the league grow.
Yeah, it was a really great game. I mean, the coach did a good job of removing a bigger star, Thierry Henry, to bring in London Donovan in the 47th minute in the second half. So, which made a lot of difference. Donovan ended up getting the winning goal in the tournament, which kind of made him an all-star. The person he now has the record as the person that have scored the highest goal in the All-Star game. So he's been in the league for a while. So what do you think about London Donovan? He then made an announcement that he will be retiring from soccer at the end of this current season. He has won MLS championships with the LA Galaxy. He has played several years for the US team, even in the World Cup. So Martin, what do you think? Can you talk about his accomplishment so far?
When I heard of the news of his retirement, actually, I was very surprised because I think he's actually still in his prime. He's still a very good player. But, I can understand because maybe from this summer's exclusion from the World Cup team, maybe that just demoralized him and he didn't maybe not want to play anymore. But I think he's done a lot for U.S. soccer. He's been the face of the league and the nation for a long time, and I think he's leaving the game as a legend, definitely, and I think he's done quite a lot for the nation, and he deserves all respect.
I think I definitely agree with you on that. London Donovan, I was really, really surprised. I was shocked that he was not included in the U.S. National team. 23, the number of players selected to go to the World Cup for each country. I just don't see how you could have selected 23 players from the U.S. without selecting London Donovan. It was a big surprise, Francis.
It was a huge surprise to me as well, but then I also look at it like it's time for U.S. to move on from the past. We've seen the players that they took to the World Cup. Yes, he would have helped, but we've seen the new players, we've seen the new breed, and that's from him putting on the show every time he goes to the national team for the younger players to say, okay, let me follow his lead and do what he does. So his exclusion from the national team, yes, it was a surprise for me, but I felt like it was also good for U.S. soccer to move forward with the new players.
Yeah, I definitely believe that his exclusion was a surprise as well, but I believe players like Julian Green, DeAndre Yeldon, all those guys really benefited from being included in the team, because now going forward, you have some kind of experience leading forward to the next big tournament. So I think he knew Donovan was reaching a point where, the U.S. team wouldn't really rely on him anymore. So bringing in new players, young players that will bring more life, excitement to the team, I think that was really smart in the long-term view. So I think his exclusion was a surprise, but it was really needed for U.S. soccer.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Okay, that's good. Okay, we'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Before the break, Martin talked about Landon Donovan's early exit from playing the game he loved so much. So, back to the All-Star game. Why do you think Pep did that? At the end of every game, coaches usually just shake hands. I mean, it's fair play, no matter who wins. Or is he just being a bad loser? Or what do you think? What do you think happened?
I think it came from from what the people reports were saying, that Guardiola didn't shake the other coach's hand because the MLS All-Stars started playing rough on his team, on his players. They started slide tackling from the back, and the referee wasn't calling it. So he wasn't happy with the coach, the way the coach gave him the mind to just go ahead and just play anyhow with the players. So,
but that's not really. You don't really fault the coach for that. I mean, the coach didn't tell the players to play rough tackles, or if you're gonna have any grudges, should it be on the coach?
I think it was more the mindset of the players, because as a player in the MLS, you kind of look up to these big players in Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. So when you play them, you kind of want to give your best and win the game. So I think that was the product of that. And I think as a coach like Pep Guardiola, obviously you'll be very upset at the fact that they're kicking your players anyhow. I mean, the game is meant to be a friendly match, and although MLS players want to win, I would be very upset because there's a bigger stake ahead, and I think that's why he was upset.
But as a coach like Pep Guardiola, he also has to know that the MLS players are coming all out for these big players. So if you didn't want that, then you should rest your players. From my point of view, I feel like the MLS All-Star players are trying to prove themselves to Guardiola and the other staff that are watching. How don't they know that they're recruiting? So as an MLS player, I will play hard.
Yeah, that's it. That's actually a very good point. And that's All-Star games. Just like if you talk about All-Star games in other games, let's say basketball, let's say NFL, in the NFL and all that, or Major League Baseball. So any game, most time when it comes to All-Star game, you are bringing in the big stars to play, and more often than not, it looks as if they don't give their best because they don't want to get injured. So look at what happened last week in the U.S. team preparing for the basketball World Cup. I mean, Paul George, trying to recall his name, got injured. He practically broke his leg, and that is tough. That is tough for a player to see. So that's what kind of makes some players to hold back when it comes to this game that don't really mean much. So, but to see the all-star players come all out, and you can see they've been playing. This MLS league has been on, so they all been playing. They've been active. But Bayern Munich, they're just coming back from a break. They're about to begin their season, so they are not really. They're trying to come back. This is like a warm-up game for them. So the MLS guys came all out, while you saw Bayern Munich who is still trying to get back to fitness. So I think that could have kind of played a role in which team wanted it more. And the All-Star MLS All-Stars, having lost in the previous year, really wanted to win it this time, and they went all out and they were able to get the victory. So it was a good game. And I really credit the coach for the All-Star games on having a good plan, and then choosing good players that really turned out.
But also, did you think that Guardiola should have shook the other team?
I think so. I think he should have. It's just in the interest of fair play and spirit of sportsmanship. He should have shook the hand of the other coach. I mean, give your complaints later. Don't just.
I definitely believe he should have done it. It's just courtesy, It's just a football game at the end of the day.
That's true. That's true. And what? Okay. Let's talk about something else. About international players in the MLS. We definitely won't forget our own Obafemi Martins. He did play in the All-Star game. So what do you think about his game?
His game is still the same. He's still about Obafemi Martins that we know that played for Newcastle and Inter Milan. So there's still Obafemi Martins. He still has the speed, and he put on a great show also. And one thing I like about this MLS All-Star players, especially the foreign players, once they were taken out of the game, they weren't complaining. They made way for the other players to come play, and that's how they won the game. They weren't complaining at all, which usually happens. Once you take big stars out of the game like this, they just start complaining, oh, why you take me out? But this time, I didn't see none of that. They all appreciated the times they played and the times they were coming out. So I think that played a big part in the MLS All-Stars.
Yeah, that's true. So, Martin, what do you think about your namesake? How did he perform?
I think he played very well in terms of Obafemi Martins. He's very, very fast, electric player, exciting. When he's on the ball, everyone's standing like, oh, let me see what he's going to do with the ball. So I think in terms of All-Star game, he's a perfect fit. And also being a veteran player in the MLS, I think he's a great model for the players coming up to watch and to see how he plays his game and, learn from him. And I think that's what the MLS needs to continue to grow. They need big players with big experience to just help the younger guys grow and help the league just continue to grow. Because as you can see, the league is definitely continuing to grow.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and he's been doing well, pairing up with Clem Dempsey for the Seattle team. They've been good. So I think both of them have scored the highest goals for a pair of players in any team this season in the MLS.
But also, do you think that this foreign players coming into the league is hurting the league? Because some of the players that are coming out of the college are not getting a chance to play in the MLS.
Wow, that's a very good question. Viewers, I would like to get your opinion on this. What do you think? So we have had an influx of quite a number of international players coming to play in the MLS. What do you think? Give us your feedback. Do you think they are helping the league, or do you think they are impacting the grassroots development of this game in any way?
I think personally it's helping the league, of course, definitely. When you have players like Lampard, Thierry Henry, David Villa coming into the league, obviously the league's going to grow because people want to watch it. And the more people watch the league, the more it grows because you have more revenue coming in to develop the league, more teams, more facilities, and it'll help the league grow. And at the end of the day, the young players will come through no matter what. If you're a good player, you'll come through. So I don't think it's stopping any young players from coming.
Yeah, Martin, I definitely agree with you. I don't think it's, on my personal opinion, I don't think it's hurting the league at all. One thing you have to know about sports in America is that there are a lot of competing sports, and soccer is not among the top 3. You have to count American football, you have to count NBA, you have to count the baseball before you even talk about soccer. So soccer needs, we need those top players that could come and create an image that will say, oh, this is a game we want our children to play. So all these All-Stars coming, one thing I've already seen in MLS is that you see these MLS teams actually having their own soccer stadium. Look at the stadium that the San Jose team just launched. And instead of just playing in American football stadiums, now they have their own stadiums. Even the Houston team have their own stadium. So this is something this is a wave that we've seen with the increased interest in soccer. So I believe that with time, it's only going to get better.
Yes, with all of that, it makes sense. But do we want to help the league grow from grassroots, or bringing more players where we have college players that are not even getting into the league? We need the players here so that they can come into the league and help develop the league. Yes, it's good to bring 2-3 players in, but our college students are not even getting the chance to play in the MLS. Which in the foreign league they have academy players. We barely have academy players in the MLS.
I think that on that note, I think it has to do with the NCAA controlling the players and how much they play. If the NCAA allows these players to play on a more regular basis, I think that would help the children grow more, instead of the fact that foreign players coming in is affecting them. I think the fact that they only play about maybe 4 months out of the year, that's I think a big part of what's affecting the younger guys.
But why not bring them? Why not bring them in? Why not bring them in after they graduate and develop them, instead of just saying, okay, you play only 4 months out of the year. I don't think you're good enough to compete with the players that are coming.
I don't think anyone is saying no one is good enough. Really, I mean, you have the every sports in America goes through the same process. You have the season where they do the drafts, so they select players from these colleges, and you have to be among the best to play in the major leagues. So the same thing happens in the Premiership. You can buy players, but here in the US, it's more of you drafting from choosing players based on your performance from last year. So it's the same system that plays in the American football or in the NBA that plays out also even in MLS. So the system is there. I think the major issue is the fact that most of the athletic players have other sports to choose before it comes to soccer. Unlike, let's say, you go to Nigeria or you go to England, any athletic about soccer before they think about other sports. But that is not the case with the US. Okay, think about the US. If the LeBron James or Michael Vicks or all the other big stars, athletic stars that you see in other sports, if all of them are playing soccer, who do you think will be winning the FIFA World Cup? True. So that is something that that is definitely something that has to be looked at. And for we to have any improvement in that area, we have to develop the soccer. We have to create this image that, oh, this is what soccer can do. And then definitely when that happens, you will have more athletic players, even from grassroots, choosing to go in the line of soccer instead of going to any other game. Until next session, thank you for watching Talk Time Soccer on Speakstv. Continue to watch Speakstv. Thank you.